But instead of doing that here from the summary panel, although we could do that just by hitting solve, I want to do that from the panel that is made for solving the scene, which of course is the solver panel that you can find by this little calculator icon. And basically we just hit go, and it is the same button as the solve button, or you can just hit Shift G. So go, and it will start calculating. It's going pretty fast. When it's done, you click OK. But looking at this error value, we can already tell that it is far from perfect, and we need to address some things. Even though we have already been in the graphs editor and have cleaned up the worst problems, still you can see there are some things that are problematic. So to do that, we just start that automatic cleanup process again by hitting Shift C, or going to track, clean up trackers. And then let me just quickly restore the default settings here. And you can see there are some problematic trackers, and we fix that just by clicking Fix. Alright, some of them are gone. And we can now recalculate the solution by hitting go. Okay, you can see the error value is already much better. But before we clean up even more trackers to try to reduce that error value even more, I want to quickly show you something by going to the graph editor. Maybe we can increase that a little bit. And stay here in the tracker bar mode instead of using the graphs mode. Here you can see some of these trackers, and we can scroll down here. But if you want to see all of them all at once, you can use that button here, and that will squish the all of these tracker bars so that you see them all at once. And if you hit Shift C now, to bring the cleanup trackers menu, and then click on show, then SynthEyes will show you where it will disable the bad frames. So in all of these areas where you see this red line, SynthEyes thinks there are some problematic frames and will just disable them instead of just deleting the whole tracker. So that's what you can do with the Show Bad Frames button. Okay, now let's fix these last bad frames. Close that and then hit Go again. That should bring us under a value of 1. And yes, we are below 1, so that's not too bad. And now we can start setting up a coordinate system. So to do that, we go to the coordinate system panel. And with this button, we can do the same thing that we did by clicking on the coordinate system button. So that's basically the same. So go full screen by hitting F2, and then let's see which ones we can use. And I want to try to use trackers that are more or less in line with the x-axis that I think should be the back wall. So maybe use that one as the origin, the next the left right or the axis button, that one to have a line that is parallel to the back wall, and then the last point, the plane point, to bring that down on a ground level, maybe this one back there. Apply coordinate system, yes of course. And if you see that, that looks already pretty fine. They are all flat on the floor. We have the back wall here and the side wall there. So that's great. Now to test that, maybe we can go one step further to the 3D Objects panel. And then between these 4 points we can insert a cylinder that maybe fits here inside that black hole. So maybe zoom in here, click and drag to define the size. then click to accept that size, and then drag again to define the height. Click to confirm, go full screen, and then scrub through the shot or just play back to see if everything is fine. Oh, by the way, speaking of playback, if you go to view, you can adjust the playback speed, either frame by frame, which can be very confusing when you're not working in HD but in SD or with very small frames. Then this will have a speed like this. So that's maybe good for tracking but not for playback. So instead you can go to normal speed and play that back, and that will try to play back at 29 frames per second. Which, by the way, you can see down here. If you want to have a very close look, maybe to follow one tracker, you can also go to, I don't know, half speed to really focus on one tracker. And yeah, but let's go back to normal speed. So this looks pretty good, and we can go on to the next issue that we have to address, and that is problematic with this shot.